Well, I've been running around my compost pile, and I get a little grass when I run from here over to there, and it won't hurt anything. But my problem is, this is all covered. Now we got a bunch of wiregrass, Bermuda grass in this bed, and it's a total disaster. We need to take a mower and just run over the whole thing. But I pulled all that in there, and the reason why has been less than a week. And see all these weed seeds? Well, they've got sunlight so they can grow, and that's all that's required. And if I could block the sun, people put down cardboard, newspaper, old carpets, whatever, just put down grass or compost. Now when you get a weed like this that's a little taller, you pretty much have to take a stirrup pole, pull it over the rug row, because it would be above that. See, I'm just dumping it. I run around my compost pile, and it's a little thick and heavy, so sometimes I don't get too full plastic bins on the back, and then I'll just take a rake and come in here. But all the taller weeds like that, you pretty much have to get it out, so because they might reach the sunlight, but all of the shorter ones won't. And see, we've done all the way around there and done this, and we tucked it up by the plants so we don't have to come back and weed it. A little hard on the lawnmower. And here's my compost pile, and I'm working on it, and see, I can undermine it with a little wheel and the deck, and then the stuff will fall over, and then I wait a day or two and the top dries. See how that's dried down there where we've got compost vegetable rinds, and then I run over it really slowly with it in the highest position and pick all that up, and you can see all this fine stuff that does get thrown out. There is a pocket of pine needles that's dry as a bone right there, and that was more than I'd say 15-18 inches out that way. And we're going to try to end up having a compost pile about from the vegetables out this way a little way, so we can get through here with the lawnmower. See that old wiregrass, how nasty it is? And you can tell we've had cantaloupes and watermelon. And I don't see any butterflies. Usually you get a bunch of butterflies and you'll get a few bees. And if you're going to see a honeybee, it's going to be around this kind of stuff, because it's sugar in it. We do have some ants on it, and they're jumping around. The bees, they're not honeybees, they're smaller. And you can see where the compost comes out of my baggers or comes out of the chute, because damp compost does pack down a little bit. And that's, I need a little bit right here and a little bit more on the other end. And we did have rain last night and early this morning, and moved this over to cover all the weeds that I showed you earlier in this video. And we could stand a little more right in this corner. And our melons finally picked up. I picked up the bottom edge of them and pulled the compost under them. And that'll hold moisture to them. But see, this one picked up. It was laying flat on the ground, and just the last leaves looked alive. This one never really suffered real bad from a transplant, and it does have flowers on it. We've got a few weeds around those, daylilies. You can tell the difference between that was done today, raking out, and this was done a couple days ago. Well, I finally got all this spread, which is good. These watermelons have really picked up. I think they're watermelons, they could be cantaloupes. These seeds came up about where we had the two different plants. And with this mulch down here of compost, it should keep the weeds down. We got a real bad thunderstorm coming all the way back over there. It's been rumbling here for the last 20 minutes. Last night we had a knockdown drag out about an inch. And when we picked tomatoes this morning, I would say we had 150 sweet millions split, and probably half of the 4th of July split, none of the batter boy split, and they are, you can see, producing in the mid-range, and we just have to wait for them to get ripe. And we put them through the Victrolio strainer and making sauce out of them. But there's still a bunch in there to pick, and we're getting ready to go home. In fact, if we're smart, we get packed up before this thing hits. I've tied most of them up again. There's a couple there that could be tied up, but I think it could wait. But I'll probably get in there and do it. Now this bed has had this stuff on it for a little over a week, and you don't see a whole lot of weeds in it. And that's what you're after, because we have weeded this section right here 3 or 4 times. And as the birds are working on our black sunflower seeds, and it's mostly nuthatches. There's a black-hat chickadee and titmice and a few cardinals. Well, I told you a storm was coming, and it was going to come down in sheets. And that's what's going on. Can't leave the window down too much because it will drown us. Well, we ran into some really hard rain. We're doing 30 miles an hour on a 45-mile road. This kind of rain will clean all the ditches out. Oh, it's not a little shortcut. Secondary road. Nice to have rain tires on the car. Well, I'm glad we weren't there when that fell over. The sky's lightening up a little bit, so maybe we'll not have a whole lot of rain on their garden.